Okay, so in this problem, we're asked to write a method that will return an array with all values from the given list or array that are less than the last value in the array, and return an empty array if the given array is empty, or if the given array contains no values less than the last value. So if we look at our sample data, if the array holds the integers 1, 2, 3, -12, and 5, our last value is 5, and it's needing then to return all of the values that are less than that value, and that would be 1, 2, 3, and -12. When we look at the next one, 26 is the last value, and that would not return the first element because 55 is greater than 26, but it would return 18, 15, 22. It'll skip 35 and return 17. So the thing that's tricky about this one is that we have no idea ahead of time how many elements are going to be in the new array that gets returned. So we're going to have to count that number of elements before we can create the new array and fill it with the values that are less than the last value. So let's go ahead and start then by assigning that last value to a variable. So that's an integer, we'll call it last, and that's coming from the nums array, and we want the last element, so we'll do the nums.length. Remember, length is an instance variable in an array, so we don't need parentheses, and the length -1 would give us the last element in the nums array. Okay, then we need to keep a count. So let's go ahead and make a count variable starting at 0. And now we're going to traverse the array element by element, comparing each element to the last. So we'll let I be the loop variable starting at 0. We want I to go through the array nums, so it'll be less than nums.length, and then we'll increment I. So in this loop, we're going to check and see if the first element, which would be when I is 0, is less than the last, which we assigned as an integer. And then if that is the case, then we're going to increment the count by 1. Okay, so that will tell us the size of the new array that we're going to make. So now let's go ahead and create that new array. So it'll be an array of integers. And what do we want to call it? We'll call it new array, since that's our new array. And we're going to make it the size of the count that we just obtained from the for loop. Okay, then we're going to need to loop through again and assign each of these elements from the original array into the new array that are less than the last value. So we're going to need an index variable that we increment to keep track. So for j starting at 0, j is going to be less than the array length, and then we'll increment j. And let's assign, oh wait, we're going to need a condition again. So if nums element j starting at 0 is less than the last, that was what we had counted previously, then we're going to go ahead and add that to our new array. So new array element, and we're going to start at 0 with the index. So new array index is going to now hold the value of num's element j. And then we're going to need to increment the index so that when we cycle back through the if condition with the next value of j, it'll assign it to the following value when it's a true statement in the new array. Okay, so now we're going to exit the for loop, and we can go ahead and return our new array. And let's compile and see how we did. Oh, we got it. Yay.